The cross-examination of police investigator Colonel Lambertus Steyn continues in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. We were taking those proceedings live earlier. SABC News reporter Sipho Kekana is following and now joins us live outside the court. Good afternoon to you, Sipho. There was a very tense exchange today between the witness and a lawyer. Just explain for people who've just tuned in.
Yes, Francis, we've seen right at the end there a very almost a heated exchange between the lawyer and the witness, that is Lambertus Steyn, and that is when Advocate Mnisi almost belabored at the point of trying to get a concession from the witness that the complexion of the witness that he is saying that was the guy who was arrested in 2015 having a cell phone and a lawful firearm. So Mnisi was trying to get from the witness to say that the complexion of this guy that you say is the accused number 3 that is displayed on this picture in court. Mnisi was trying to get a concession from the witness to say that his complexion looks different. It was a little bit difficult to hear where Mnisi was actually headed, considering the fact that today he has conceded in court that in fact accused number 3 is indeed the guy whose picture was displayed on the TV screen. And you remember this comes after on Friday we had in court Advocate Mnisi saying that the pictures that were displayed in court were blurry. They could not tell who that person was. And that is when Steyn was displaying pictures that were downloaded from a phone that was confiscated from a suspect that was arrested in 2015. And Steyn was saying that that person that was arrested in 2015 was in fact accused 3, that is Mthobisi Mncube. And so on Friday we had Mnisi saying we cannot say that the pictures are very blurry, but today what he has made a 360 on that point, saying that indeed this person that you have displayed here in court is indeed accused number 3, and that is what is currently coming out of court at the moment. We've had earlier also Sipho Ramusipile trying to crash, almost poke holes into Steyn's testimony, and that is to the fact that you remember that Steyn told the court that there were links that had been established between accused number 3 as well as accused number 1 and 2, and we've had also accused number 5. And now what Sipho Ramusipile was trying to do there was to say, we understand there were links, we understand that calls were made, but can you say that it is a criminal offense just because the calls were made? And we had Steyn conceding to that fact, to say the mere fact that there was communication that was established among the accused does not necessarily mean that something wrong was being discussed, something criminal was being discussed. And we had that concession now coming out of the witness, and we also heard for the first time from Steyn that on that night, after Senzo Meyiwa was shot, none of the people who were in that house actually did call the South African Police Service or the ambulance. And this is huge because we understand that from Zandile Khumalo's statement that after Senzo was shot, she tried to call, she couldn't, she froze, she couldn't make that call, but she went out to try and seek for help. But today we understand that while only one phone was stolen from that scene, nobody from that house did in fact make any call to the police or the emergency services. We understand that Senzo Meyiwa later on that night was then rushed to the hospital. And also, Francis, the issue of Senzo's cell phone movement also came into play this morning. And you will remember that according to Zandile, Senzo's phone was found in the kitchen of their home when they returned from the hospital where Senzo Meyiwa was declared dead. But according to Steyn, that cell phone that belonged to Meyiwa received a call when it was pinned to a cell phone tower which is stationed within the premises of the Butsilong Hospital. So which would then mean that on that night after Senzo was shot and killed, his phone did actually leave the Khumalo household to go to the Butsilong Hospital and then made it back to the house before it was then confiscated by the police. We've also heard about a statement from one Gugu Ngobeni, who also was one of the people who was at the scene after everything happened. And in that statement, it is understood that Gugu is saying that phone was in fact in the hands of Makhumalo, that is Kelly Khumalo's mother, at one point. She says that she was handed over Tingo, that is Kelly's son, and Senzo's cell phone, and she received a number of calls from people who wanted to speak to Senzo after that call. So that is what is coming out of court, and when we return at 2, we are expecting Charles Mnisi to continue with his cross-examination of Lambertus Steyn on the information that was downloaded from the cell phones.